What's up, goodies? Welcome back to your girl channel and to my kitchen, how to cook. And today is another collaboration with my girl Talks Julisha. Be sure to go over there and check her out. Make her know say me selling her. All our information will be in my description box. And honey, I'm about to turn up this oven baked brown stew chicken in my kitchen, fast, easy, and simple. So make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notification. And don't forget to check out Talks Julisha and make her know me sending her. Okay, goodie, you're ready for cook? Let's cook. Let's turn up the kitchen. Now, I'm about to make a really quick green season. And this is what I'm going to use. Celery, lemon, all right? 1 stalk of scallion, for sure. And I'm just going to use these little herbs here, which is mint. All right, so I'll use mint and thyme, some fresh thyme as well. What else I'm going to put to it? I'm going to use some dill here. Okay, and then we're just going to go in with some fresh parsley. Simple something. And then we're going to add some basil. Okay, now to that we're going to add some chopped garlic. Use fresh if you want that, but still fresh that, but that I'm gonna use. And that is it. That is how simple this one is going to be. All right, so now you're definitely going to need a food processor for this, or if you don't have one, just use a blender or whatever you can find, right? So I just went ahead and add everything into the food processor here. And to that, I went ahead and added, squeezed the lemon, right? And I added about a tablespoon of the fresh lemon to it, okay? Just like I'm doing here. And then I use my extra virgin olive oil. And of course, you can substitute that out. But I use, to get it started here, I think I use maybe about 3 tablespoons of the extra virgin olive oil. I am going to be using some as I go along because I want it to have a nice paste to it. So yeah, so you just go ahead and just combine everything nice and smooth depending on how you like your green season. Some people like it chunky, but I don't like mine chunky, and I don't like it with watery or liquid either. I just like a nice little paste consistency. So I did go back in and add maybe another tablespoon or so of the extra virgin olive oil. And again, that can be substituted. And that is it. That is some quick green season right here. Now, I know you can always add anything that else you want to add to your green season. I do all kinds of different kinds of a green season depending on how I'm feeling for that day, or depending on what I could find in my refrigerator. But this smells amazing. Amazing, y'all. Give this one a try on your chicken, on your beef, on your steak, on your pork, just about anything. Even on your vegan food, it's beautiful. Now, moving right along, we're going to get our chicken all cleaned up and ready up. So now all I'm doing here is just cut off the chicken bottom. Okay, if you cook chicken bottom, you're going to talk too much. Like me, you know. So anyway, we're going to cut that off, and then I cut it from the breast right there in the middle. Just slice it all the way down. My knife kind of dull, don't ask me why. But then I'm just going to go ahead and just cut off the fat around the wing area there. So I am going to leave the skin on though, because I'm going to definitely need the skin for this recipe here, because it's going to give me a lot of juicy moisture inside of that chicken that I really want. But just go ahead and make sure that you clean out your chicken thoroughly. And I did wash my chicken off camera with lemon, salt, and vinegar, all right? Now, what I did here was just cut the chicken into 4 pieces. That's all. I don't want to cut it up small for this. If you can do it smaller if you like, but right now, for this recipe, this is the route that we are going here. Now, because it's cut so big, you want to make sure that you put slice into the chicken, so that way you're sure that when you season the meat, the seasons will go inside of the meat and give it flavor. Let's season the chicken. We have salt and pepper, paprika, ginger powder, cumin powder. We also have chicken seasoning, all-purpose seasoning, onion and garlic powder, all right? 2 tablespoons of the paprika and a teaspoon of each of the other ones, and I'll say about a half a teaspoon of salt, not a lot, but you can also add a teaspoon of black pepper. All right, now we're going to season this chicken because we want it to have a lot of flavor, because remember, you didn't cut up the chicken small, they cut it in chunks, so you want to make sure that that chicken is well seasoned. Now this is what we're going to do here. In that container, you're going to go ahead and add your green seasoning. The more green seasoning, the better. I'll say maybe about a half cup of the green seasoning, depending on how much chicken you're making. You might want to add more. Go ahead and add at least 2 to 3 tablespoons of the extra virgin olive oil. And also, depending on how much you're making, you might want to add more as well. Now, I'll say a teaspoon of the browning, and you could make your browning from scratch. And also another tablespoon of the apple cider vinegar. What you're going to do here is mix everything together. You want to mix everything and smooth everything out. Now, I do not like my seasoning. When I do this method, I don't like it when it's dry. I like it when it is nice and moist, okay? So, you might need to add more of the extra virgin olive oil to get the texture and the consistency that you like. Mine here is still a little bit too dry for me. So, I did go back and add just a little bit more of the extra virgin olive oil. And remember, if you don't have the extra virgin olive oil, do not worry about it. Just use whatever oil that you like to use in your kitchen. It is going to work just fine. Now, all you have to do here is go ahead and just apply the seasonings on the chicken. Do not use all of your seasonings. We're going to leave some of it for later on, all right? So you want to definitely use just about a half of it and just sit that aside. Go ahead and massage the seasoning into the meat and make sure you get it into the cracks of the cuts that you put on the chicken earlier. Now we are going to let this chicken sit and marinate for at least an hour, only because I made 4 chunks. If I had cut it smaller, trust me, I would have do it for only 30 minutes because I don't have time for long marinating hours time, but an hour is good right here. Now, as far as your corn and carrot is concerned, go ahead and add some more of the seasonings on the vegetable separately. Do not add, make shortcuts and add your veggies here to your meat when you season it, all right? Separate the two and season them separately, just like I'm doing here. It is, if you add it to the chicken when you season, it's going to have the corn and the carrot taste in some kind of way. Don't do it. Just separate them and sit them aside and combine them together later on. All right, so that is looking proper and good. Perfect. Seasons are well clinged onto it. Now in my container here, my container is pretty deep. You want to make sure that you have a pretty deep container when you're making this recipe. You go ahead and you place your chicken into your baking container of choice. At this particular moment, your oven should have already been on. Your oven needs to be on 375 degrees, and it is going to take a first 35 minutes, or let's say 35 to 40 minutes. But let's give and take 35 minutes, all right? You're going to pull it out in 35 minutes because total cooking time is at least an hour and 10 minutes long. Now, after you've placed your chicken into the baking tray, then you start putting your corn and your carrots in as well. Please make a note now. You can also add potatoes to it if you want a more healthier, not healthier, but a more heavier meal. You could also add your potatoes in as well. That whatever you feel like adding to it, you could go ahead and add it. Just be sure that you season them separately from your chicken. Now, to give it a nice pop when this thing is cooking, I did add some slices of lemon to it. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my preheated oven, and I'm going to allow it to bake for the first 35 minutes, y'all. 35 minutes. And while it's baking, you want to go ahead and do this. In a frying pan, you're going to go ahead and add at least 2 tablespoons of oil, and I'm using extra virgin olive oil here. I did add a stick of unsalted butter to it. Now we're going to make a sauce here. So this is what you're going to need to do. You're going to add 1 1/4 cup of cornstarch, and you can substitute that out for flour, all-purpose flour if you have that, or you can substitute it out for tapioca starch if you have that. It is going to work just fine. But I really have to say I love using cornstarch for this particular recipe. All right. Now just make sure say your butter come nice and melt out and combine it really well with the cornstarch. And it's going to look like scrambled eggs. Perfect. That is exactly what you want to have happen here. Now with the remaining of the sauce, the remaining of the seasonings that you had used earlier, just pour it onto the mix here. And it's starting to do its magic. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do right here, okay? Be sure though that your fire is at a medium heat. Now to that, I added 1 can of Ocheerios coconut cream. And of course you can substitute that Ocheerios. I just happen to have that. Add a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, 1 pepper, and about a teaspoon of browning. You want to give it some color. Remember, you're making oven baked brown stew chicken. Now you're going to need 2 cups of water, right? But don't put all of it in at the same time. Put 1 cup first and start spinning it so that way it doesn't lump up. Go ahead and taste it to make sure it's your flavor. I needed more black pepper and salt, so I added that to it, and it was perfect then. But of course you could add whatever other seasons you like. But as you go along, just make sure so you taste it up. I did go in and add the other cup of water to it. And just make sure I get everything from the sides. Bring it all down. Make it bubble at medium heat. Taste it again after you add the total 2 cups. Everything was perfect. And here is our chicken here. Now, it's been baking again for 35 minutes at 375 degrees, right? Perfect. Now your sauce is ready, bubbling up over there. So all you have to do is go ahead and just pour it all over your chicken. All over your chicken, y'all. Just get it all up in there, okay? Remember again, do not bake it covered, okay? Because if you bake it covered, you're going to have problems. A lot of liquid. I didn't pop the pepper, but of course you could pop it, okay? Just pour your sauces all over your chicken and make sure it get on the carrots and the corn. And if you want to add potatoes, go ahead and put your potatoes in, but make sure you get it on your potatoes as well. Now you're going to go back here and you want to put this back in the oven. It looks real nice, but it's not ready yet. You're going to go back and pop it in your oven. Your oven should still be at 375 degrees. And it's going to take another 35 minutes of baking time. Uncovered, y'all. Uncovered. After a total of 1 hour and 10 minutes, this is what you have. Straight up delicious. Nice, nice, nice. All I did here was sprinkle some extra parsley, dried parsley on top, and it was ready for the table. Perfect, y'all. This one is a must try. Brown stew chicken in your oven with corn and carrots. Look at this. Now, just look at magic. Look what really went on in the kitchen. You see how that proper? Perfect. And all that nice, juicy, flavored sauce went right through the meat. Perfect. Just perfect. This one is a must try. I've made this recipe several times and it is a showstopper. Now, husband wanted rice and peas with things, so here's what we're going to do here. Yes, honey. Yes, honey. We're going to put it on the plate because we couldn't leave without putting it on the plate so you can see how the thing look proper. Yes, yes, yes. Say yes to the recipe. This one is more like, I would say like a seafood boil, but this is a brown stew chicken boil. Yes, honey. Nice, right? You can just eat it just like that. But no, he's going to have rice and peas with theme thing. Look at the corn. That corn is soaked up in all that good juices. Honey, my mouth is a water. Yes, this is off the chart good. You have to try this recipe, yeah. You're gonna love it. And that smothered sauce there, oh my goodness, look at that. Drainings all down this corn. The thing is massive, may I tell you. Massive. You just have to try this. When you try this recipe, you're going to fall in love with its flavor. And get it all up on that rice and peas, honey. The thing shot every time. Nice. You're going to love it. You are going to love it. And you know, I had to show you how the inside of the meat look. You see how that nice and white and pretty and juicy and tender? That is why you have to let it soak up into that good juice and suck up the flavor. Yes, boo, the thing shot. Nice. You're going to love this one. Just be sure to say thumbs up the video and you're sharing all this good love with all your friends and family, all right? Don't forget to go ahead and check out my girl, Starks Julisha channel, and make her know me sending her. Until next time, tell me where you want to have me cooking in my kitchen next. And as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen. Enjoy!